Hello everyone, here I come with another interesting topic. US states with the most UFO sightings. The team at online jigsaw site puzzle.com analyzed data from the National UFO Reporting Center, NUFORC. They looked at the number of sightings that were reported each month worldwide since 2000 to find the total number of UFO sightings in each state as a proportion of 1 lakh of its residents. The National UFO Reporting Center database was used and sightings as a proportion of each state's population were calculated. The number of sightings per month was calculated from worldwide reports between January 2000 to December 2021. Here is what they found. Washington is the most likely state to spot a UFO with 88.03 sightings per 1 lakh residents. Vermont and Montana have the second and third most sightings per 1 lakh people respectively. California has the highest total number of UFO sightings at 15,280. July ranks as the best month to spot a UFO with 603 reports filed during this month on average. The top 10 UFO sightings in USA is listed. Let us see one by one. In the first place, Washington with 88.03 sightings per 1 lakh residents. Washington is most likely the state to spot a UFO with 88.03 sightings per 1 lakh residents, or 6,812 sightings in total. Washington is home to what is often regarded as a first UFO sighting of the modern age, which marked its 75th anniversary in June this year. On 24 June 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed to have seen a string of 9 shiny objects flying past Mount Rainier at impossibly high speed during his flight from Chehalis to Yakima, Washington. And the second place is Vermont, which has a 87.98 sightings per 1 lakh residents. Vermont ranks a very close second place with 87.98 sightings per 1 lakh residents. The first of 3 New England states to make up the top 10, Vermonters have reported 568 sightings in total, making it top contender for unexplained aerial phenomena despite its smaller population. One of the state's first recorded sightings occurred in 1961. Above Eastern Mountain, in which personnel at North Concord Air Force Station reported a strange object that remained stationary in the sky for 18 minutes. Some believe this was related to the Barney and Betty Hill purported alien abduction that took place in New Hampshire on the same evening. And the third place, Montana, which has 86.21 sightings per 1 lakh residents. Montana ranks the third, 86.21 sightings per 1 lakh residents, for a total of 952 reported UFO sightings. One of the Treasure State most publicized alleged and sightings is the Mariana UFO incident, which occurred on 15th August 1950. Nick Mariana, a general manager for a minor league baseball team, and his secretary spotted 2 rotating silver discs traveling at a speed through the sky in Great Falls, Montana. Capturing the phenomenon on 16mm film, the Air Force wrote off Mariana's footage as reflections from 2 F-94 jet fighters. However, later studies have questioned the validity of this explanation. And fourth place, Alaska, which has 83.94 sightings per 1 lakh residents. Alaska ranks 4th with 83.94 sightings per 1 lakh residents of 615 sightings in total. On 17th November 1986, a Japanese Boeing 747 aircraft was completing a portion of its journey from Reykjavik to Anchorage when its crew claimed to observe 3 UFOs as they flew over eastern Alaska. The first 2 were reportedly 2 square-shaped crabs that appeared to have glowing nozzles, the heat from which could be felt by the onboard crew. and the third object was only seen by the caption but was described as a gigantic spaceship, twice the size of an aircraft carrier. And in the fifth place, Maine. 81.55 sightings per 1 lakh residents. Maine comes in fifth with 81.55 reports per 1 lakh residents, or 1119 reports in total. Maine's most well-known encounter with extraterrestrial life is the case of Allagash abductions, which allegedly took place on 20th August 1976. A group of 4 men had taken a fishing boat out onto the water one evening while on a campaign trip in North Marine. They noticed a bright object in the sky which shone out a beam that followed the men as they scrambled to the shore. Once at a campsite, they all felt that they had skipped a substantial amount of time and were extremely fatigued. All 4 men underwent hypnosis several years later and gave identical accounts of being abducted and experimented on by aliens. And the 6th place goes to New Hampshire. This is about 80.13 sightings per 1 lakh residents, or 1113 sightings in total. The aforementioned case of Barney and Betty Hill in 1961 is perhaps New Hampshire's most compelling and publicized account of extraterrestrial encounters. The couple claimed to have spotted and followed a 40-foot rotating craft in the sky while driving home from their vacation. The craft later descended on their parked vehicle, with Barney claiming to have seen several humanoid figures on board. The couple stated that as they tried to drive away, they experienced a state of a altered consciousness that placed them and their vehicles 35 miles south with no recollection of how they had got there. And 7th one is Oregon, which has 79.04 sightings per 1 lakh residents, or 3,356 sightings in total. Oregon is famed for the McMinnville UFO photographs taken on 11th May 1950, which are some of the most famous images ever captured of a UFO. The photos, which were captured by farming couple Paul and Evelyn Trent, show a 3-dimensional metallic disc-shaped object suspended in the sky above their house before it then flew away in a western direction. And in 8th place, New Mexico, which has 73.96 sightings per 1 lakh residents, or 1565 reports in total. Many will be aware of a Roswell incident, a series of events so significant in UFO history that has sparkled World UFO Day, which is celebrated across the US every year. In 1947, a rancher helped Roswell Army Airfield officers to recover unusual debris he had found near his ranch near to Corona, New Mexico. The RAF released a statement that they had recovered a flying disc. However, the statement was later altered to state that the debris had been from a weather balloon, which many felt formed part of a government alien cover-up. And in 9th place, Dahu, 67.13 sightings per 1 lakh residents, or 1,276 sightings in total. Dahu has become something of a tourist destination for UFO, following the UFO bus of 1947, the most well known as the uncovering of a crashed 30-inch disc which was found by teenagers on 11th July 1947 and was handed over to the FBI for investigation. The story was, however, later uncovered as a hoax. And in the 10th place, Wyoming, which is a 66.86 sightings per 1 lakh residents, or 387 sightings in total. Looking at a declassified reports of UFOs, Wyoming has had its fair share of sightings, some of which have reasonable explanations and others leave room for speculation. One such occurrence was reported on 3rd December 1953, in which Captain David Porter spotted two objects moving in formation while piloting a C-47 aircraft. Watching them for 7 minutes, they apparently changed color from red to white and were traveling up to a speed of 2000 miles per hour. And these are all the informations we gathered regarding the UFO spotting in USA. Thanks for watching this video and keep supporting us.